Hi, my name is David Gilbert. I grew up in New Bedford on Gould Street in the West End, and I lived there till I was went to college. I guess I was about 18. Anyway, to get to the point, my grandparents lived in New Bedford. My mother was born there, and this is the story I want to tell about. It's her family. She was one of 11 children. She was third from the youngest, and they all lived. It was a very happy family from what you hear, but you never know what the truth is about all that. But they all seemed to get along. My grandfather, Morris, he owned New Bedford Coal Company, which obviously delivered coal. When my mother was 15, I'm not sure how old he was. I think he was in his 50s, early 50s. He died. He had a heart attack. So very sad. In the Jewish religion, they bury the next day. The next day on the way to the funeral, my grandmother died in the hearse, and it veered off and went to the hospital, and she was dead. So here they were, all stranded, and all kids, and they were very, very close. Family meant a lot. The older boys kept the coal company going for a little while, and they talk about how the older ones sort of took care of the younger ones and acted as parents. And they all grew up, and that was that. The interesting thing that I found, this is them when they were alive, obviously. And they sat for this portrait. And this portrait, I think all my cousins, I have 28 first cousins, we all have this photograph. It's like the only photograph, so we have it. Now, my grandfather, it turns out, besides having a coal company, also owned boats which were called rum runners. And during Prohibition, they would pick up liquor off the coast. They would go out under the moon, very romantic, and pick off the booze off the boats and bring it in. Now, we never knew this, and I found this out recently when there was an article published in a book. You probably can't read it. It's probably too small. But yes, he did have those boats, and one of them was captured by the Coast Guard. And a large supply of rum, or I don't know if it was just rum, but they call them rum runners, so I'm assuming it was rum, was confiscated. Now, one of my cousins said that what he would do was he would deliver coal, and he would also deliver booze. So he would they would bring the coal up to houses and drop it down a chute. And then I guess he would take the booze. He couldn't put it down the chute because it would break. So you bring it to the front door and ring the doorbell 4 times and then run. I don't know. That's a little bit, could be made up. But we don't know. Also, the things were sort of like this, the bottles, the rum running bottles. So you could see where if this was sent down a coal chute, it probably wouldn't make it. Now, before I started this was full. I just want you to know that. Now it's empty. So I do have a lot of connections to New Bedford, and I have more, but I thought that this one is very interesting, not only because of the bootlegging stuff or rum running, but also because it was a large family and how they all took care of each other. They all loved New Bedford. My uncles went to New Bedford High School, and they were sports, basketball. My Uncle George was big with basketball. And most of them, they're all gone now, but they all had very fond memories of New Bedford. And as do I. I have some bad ones, but I have a lot of fond ones. And, I'm just glad to have these things and to be able to share it.